everyone, it's Ms. Collector here. So right now I have just pulled out the entirety of my comic book collection. So right here we have Marvel, all my Marvel comics in this pile. This is more like miscellaneous and obscure comics. This has Dark Horse comics, Aftermath comics, and yeah, really just any random comic books I find. This is kind of like the random pile. And here we have the DC. I actually noticed I have a lot more Batman comic books than I thought I did. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, it's all right here, 3 piles. So most of these comic books have actually been passed down from a family member to me. And yeah, so I've had these comic books for a good few years now. Unfortunately, I don't really collect comic books anymore because I'm not anywhere near a comic book shop within walking or driving distance. I used to live in Monrovia and there was a comic book shop that was really cool. I forgot the name of it, but it's been closed down since then, and I think they turned it into a Jake's Roadhouse or whatever. But yeah, I I do try to make the effort to purchase comic books online, although I kind of miss going to an actual store because, you can't beat physical space, you know what I mean? I found a good comic book page that, yeah, sells really good stuff. They do like live sales and all that, live streaming on like their Instagram. But yeah, so I'm gonna go through each and every pile just to show you guys what I have, starting with the Marvel first. Usually I only collect Marvel, but I'm open to collecting different ones too. So yeah, let's start with the Marvel. So here we have the Marvel stack. We have the Amazing Spider-Man Part 1. And what's also cool is that I have these comic books where they showcase like weekly new releases and all that, so that's really cool too. The Amazing Spider-Man Part 2, Spiral. I have all of these, by the way. We have Damage Control. This is Doctor Doom. Yeah, some of these comic books are like kind of coming apart, so yeah, you're gonna see a little bit of like, yeah, this one is like completely off of its hinge. We have the Punisher, Part 3 of 7, Conviction. I love the cover art for this one. I remember trying to draw it a while back, and I did a pretty good job, but yeah, I love this. Fantastic Four. This one's a really good read. I like this one. If you're wondering if I read all of these comic books, yes, I read practically the majority of these comic books. There's only probably like 1 or 2 that I can say that I haven't read yet. Young X-Men. This one's another good one. We have the Mighty Thor. Bring that a little bit closer. So all these comic books are mostly the old school ones. They're around 19, let me see, 1940, 1990, yeah. Also 1960s. X Factor. I'm starting to become a recent fan of X Factor. Yeah, I really like the X Factor comic books. Another X Factor one. Another Thor. Yeah, with my Marvel comics, I kind of have like just multiple ones of like the same superheroes, so you're not really going to see that much diversity when it comes to the Marvel set. Wolverine and Punisher. This one's a pretty good one too. I really like the artwork in this one. Power Man and Iron Fist. Yeah, because Power Man is now known as Luke Cage, and Power Man is his old name, so I thought that was pretty cool. I would like to pick up more of Power Man comics. Learn about the old Luke Cage. X Factor, another X Factor one. I really am starting to like the X Factor comic books. This one's pretty cool, and like when you open it, it kind of like let me see if I can, yeah. See that? Woo! I'm not sure if that was Jack Kirby's work, but if it was, this is phenomenal right here. I love it. I love it when comic books do that. Another one of my personal favorites, Wolverine. I'll lay out my top 4 comics for each pile, my top 4 favorites from each pile at the end of the video. Captain America. Super cool. It was pretty interesting to find out that there was a comic where Captain America was a Hydra member. That was pretty interesting. Fear itself. This one has to do with the story of Red Skull. He's trying to obtain some ancient object, and his children are helping him with it. And yeah, I haven't finished reading this one, but I'll get to it. And one of my most prized possessions, Marvel Tales Spider-Man. This one was a pretty interesting read too. One of the saddest ones, Spider-Man comic books I remember reading was with him and the Green Goblin in, I believe, Spectacular Spider-Man. But the Amazing Spider-Man has to be mostly my favorite out of the Spider-Man types. So yeah, that's all of my Marvel comics. And there you go. These are my top 4 from my pile. Marvel set. So this one was a really cool story. The only Fantastic Four comic book that I own. Spoiler alerts, because I will be talking about the plot in detail. I thought it was really sad when Human Torch found out his wife was like the alien chick, and like, yeah, and she actually fell in love with him. And like I said before, this is becoming my new favorite series, the X Factor Muir Island saga. That was really cool. And what's crazy is that you learn that Professor X in this series, in the comics, he actually loses his ability to walk because of the Shadow King. Like, he breaks his legs, I think, in the Shadow World. Yeah, they start fighting, and like there's like a big piece of machinery that like lands on his legs, and he's not able to walk anymore. So yeah, very crazy stuff. Excellent artwork too. I remember watching about Muir Island and Shadow King in the 90s cartoons, and that was really awesome. So this Wolverine comic, this really shook me, because this guy, Tracy, he's an asshole. He's a real piece of shit. And it's all about Wolverine trying to get at him. Yeah, he's an abusive prick. He shoots up a store, he beats his mom, and like, that scene in that comic, that will always be shocking to me. Like, I'll never forget that. So Young X-Men right here. This is really cool because they're tracking down some people where they have these tattoos that give them power. So if you have a tattoo on a bomb and you punch a wall, the wall will explode. There's a guy that has cheetah tattoos and he's able to run super fast. So yeah, interesting concept here. Pretty cool story, pretty neat. You know, something light for the heart. So yeah, that's just a little rundown of my favorite ones here. And I'm going to split each pile into different parts. So this is going to be my comic book collection part 1. And yeah, that's going to be all for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Also, check out my Instagram, Miss_Collector344. So yeah, have a nice day, everyone.